The New York Giants just got breaking news before their NFC East rivalry game against the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. I'll tell you what that is coming up around the corner, but first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We put out free videos every day around Big Blue, and my guy Chase Sr., the host of our Eagles channel here at Chat Sports, he has challenged us to a subscriber battle. He did so after they were in the lead, a little bit Bush League by the Philly Cat, but I want to beat him. I want to bury him. So if you want to beat the Eagles and you want to show that Giants Now is the superior channel to Eagles Now, hit that sub button right now. This is New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for clicking on today's video, as we have just gotten some breaking news on the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are going to be down a key starter as well. We'll tell you what that is at the back half of today's show. But let's start with the Giants, as their second-year running back, Tyrone Tracy, who has missed the past couple of games due to a shoulder injury. He is off of the injury report, and he is expected to be ready to rock and roll on Thursday night against the Eagles. Big news for the Giants. I think one of the only ways the Giants are going to be able to win this game is by dominating the run game, being able to run the football against the Philadelphia Eagles. And getting Tyrone Tracy back is only going to help with that. So you'll have Tracy, you'll have Skattebo. I don't know what the pitch count or snap count will be for him, but when he's on the field, the Giants are just naturally going to be better. He had a really good rookie season. And with the Giants being thin at that wide receiver spot, no Darius Slayton, no Malik Neighbors, they're going to need playmakers at other positions to step up. And Tyrone Tracy, he could do that. Ran for almost 850 yards last year, 4.4 yards per pop, had 5 rushing touchdowns, including another one through the air, so 6 total touchdowns. And like when he was the starter for the Giants in 12 games last year, he was pretty damn good. 61.3 yards per game. And if you scale that out over a 17-game season, that would have been a 1,000-yard season for the rookie back. 4.5 yards per carry in the game he started. Like, this is someone that should bring a spark to a Giants offense that has been sparkless since Malik Neighbors has gone down. And I think the Giants are going to get creative in their personnel groupings this week. We saw a lot of 2 tight end sets in the first half versus the New Orleans Saints. I expect to see that throughout the ball game against the Philadelphia Eagles, as the Giants are thin at that wide receiver spot. And I expect to see Tyrone Tracy and Cam Skattebo on the football field at the same time in different parts of this ball game, whether that be like a wing T offense like we saw last year with the Giants. Well, they'll line up 3 running backs in the backfield, and they like to run that outside zone in that. Or maybe the Giants want to bring in both running backs and force the Eagles into a heavier personnel grouping on defense. And then you spread out the running backs at the receiver spot, where you go Tyrone Tracy out wide this way, Cam Skattebo out wide this way, and you can put Theo Johnson in the slot as well. The Giants have to be creative in the ways that they are trying to create competitive advantages on Thursday night if they want to walk out with a win. And you got to run the football. Like, we could say all this stuff, do this, do this, do this. The Giants have to run the football. I would be shocked if they are able to beat the Eagles without running the football and relying on the arm of Jaxson Dart. And that's not to say Jaxson Dart can't do it. It's tough to cook a 5-star meal when you don't have 5-star groceries. And the Giants just don't have that at receiver right now. And the Eagles haven't been great at stopping the run. Look, Vic Fangio is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. Jalen Carter is also injured for the Eagles. So maybe he's questionable going into this game. He doesn't play. And maybe he doesn't play as much. They have a weakness, and it's the fact they have the 22nd ranked run defense. You see the numbers on screen. There have been games this year where teams have been able to have success running the football. 5.4 yards per carry against Dallas in week 1. Jalen Carter got thrown out of that ball game. Week 3 against the Rams, they ran at a 5.1 yard per clip. Like, you can run the football against this team, and that's the most likely way the Giants are going to be able to do it. And they've kind of leaned into being a ground and pound offense since Jaxson Dart took over. And since he has in the last 2 weeks, the New York Giants have the 3rd best rushing attack on a yards per game basis, averaging almost 150 yards on the ground. So you'll need a game from Tyrone Tracy. Can he bust off a long run? Can Cam Skattebo do what he does? And Jaxson Dart's legs have to be involved in this game plan. 11-on-11 football, hat on hat. And I'm not saying the Giants can out-physicality. They can't out-man the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't think. But if you're going to win this game, you're going to do it with the rushing attack. Good news, though. Tyrone Tracy's back. You're a little bit more healthy at that running back spot, and you're bringing a playmaker back to this offense right now that is without its best playmaker. And whatever you want to say about Darius Slayton, the comments on the video earlier today were something. He is one of the better players on this team, even though I'm not a big fan of him. If you want to see the Giants beat the Eagles, hit that thumbs up icon. The Philadelphia Eagles are also down a key starter on the offensive side of the ball. And can the Giants' strength of their defense make the Eagles pay for being a little bit thin on the offensive line? We'll break that down in a second. But this New York Giants polo, Nike Giants polo, was $70. Now it's $42. Get it today. Chatsports.com/Giants polo. Chatsports.com/Giants polo. Get your polo today. Alrighty, Landon Dickerson, the star offensive guard for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is going to be out tonight, and he's going to be out the next couple of weeks, which means he could potentially be out in Week 8 when the Giants play the Philadelphia Eagles again. And we know that the game plan on defense is simple for the Giants. You have to dominate the interior offensive line. Look, Dickerson hasn't been great this year for the Eagles. I think he had an injury in preseason where he had to have knee surgery, and he came back quickly. And the Eagles' run game hasn't been all that great. But they're going to be down a starter on the interior offensive line. And we've seen the Giants be able to make some teams pay for being thin at that offensive line spot. You go back to the game against the Los Angeles Chargers. They were down their right tackle, and then they were down their left tackle, and then Joe Alt, he had to be taken out of that game. I'm looking at Brett Toth. I'm not exactly sure how you say his name, but he's going to be starting at that left guard spot. And he's been a player that throughout his career hasn't played all that much, and he hasn't played all that well either. He played 49 snaps against Denver in Week 5, and he allowed 4 pressures, and he allowed a sack, and he had a PFF run grade of 66.1, but a pass blocking grade of 49.1. He's allowed 3 sacks in his career on just 296 offensive snaps. So if you're going to win, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, and the interior defensive lineman for the Giants, or when they line up Burns or Thibodeau inside that A and B gap, you got to go at Toth, and you got to Toth, whatever the hell his name is. Who gives a shit? You got to be able to make him pay. And hopefully the lack of strength and healthiness that the Eagles have on their offensive line can result in their run game being worse than what it was. But it is a revenge game for Barkley. I expect him to have a big game against the Eagles. I expect them to feed him. Nick Sirianni is a player that likes to embarrass his opponents. And the way you can do that against the Giants is Saquon Barkley having a big game. Hasn't had a great year this year. I don't think it's because he's lost a step. I just talked to my guy Chase Sr. He's averaging 1 yard per carry prior to contact this year. It was over 3 last year for the Eagles. That's why his numbers are down. And when you look at this chart, EPA per rush grouped by run gaps through Week 5. Shout out to CSV_enjoyer on Twitter. He posted this. You can see green means good, red means bad. The Eagles have had their most success on the ground when they are running the football outside the tackles. They had success off the right guard's butt as well to his right shoulder. But then when they run it up the middle, to the right of the center, to the left of the center, and off the left guard, it has not resulted in great success. So the Giants have to find a way to minimize the impact that Saquon Barkley will have on this game. You can't stop Saquon, you got no shot to win this game. You also have to control Jalen Hurts in the run game as well. They'll use him. Step 1 to stopping the Eagles is stopping the run game and forcing Jalen Hurts to beat from the pocket. Look, there's a lot of ways to hate on Jalen Hurts. I think he's a good quarterback. I do. But he is someone that I think the best way to beat the Eagles is to make him beat you. He's really good against man coverage. Number 1 completion rate. Number 5 passer rating. Number 1 catchable ball rate. He has had his most success this year and last year against man coverage. Where he maybe does not play his best football is against zone coverage. Completion rate, 31st best. Passer rating, 28th best. Catchable ball rate, 26th best. So, again, I'm never going to claim I am smarter than Shane Bowen. But I can look at numbers and I can make suggestions. If the Giants run more man coverage than zone on Sunday, or I guess on Thursday, that speaks to how bad Shane Bowen is. The numbers say run zone coverage. And what do the Giants do? The Giants run man coverage, cover one, at a 37% clip. That's the highest number in the National Football League. 42% of the time they do run man coverage, the highest in the NFL. So all year long, you've played man coverage. You're now playing a quarterback that tears up man coverage and struggles versus zone defense. You have to switch it up this week, Shane Bowen. You are not good enough as a defense to do what you do and make other teams adjust. How about you adjust to what other teams do badly and you take advantage of that? That's the sign of a good defensive coordinator, putting your players in position to be successful. If Shane Bowen comes out and does what he does, which is run off-man coverage, vanilla looks, no pre-snap thinking for Jalen Hurts, Giants are going to get bombed. If you stop the run, you make Jalen Hurts beat you in zone coverage, you might be able to keep the game close in the fourth quarter, and anything can happen on Thursday Night Football. So if there's one thing I want to see this Thursday, Shane Bowen, do what's best for your defense and do what's best for your defense to have success. Play zone coverage. Stack the box. Make Jalen Hurts think pre and post snap. Contain him in the pocket. If you don't do any of those things, it's going to be a long 10 days talking about this coaching staff. Predict the score for me down in the comment section. Who do you got? And who's going to win the ball game? Give me a score prediction down below. Look, do I think the Giants are going to win? No, I don't. Do I think they can win? I do think they can win because I'm delusional. But I've learned in my 30 years of watching the Giants, when you're down and out, they reel you back in. I didn't really think they had a shot against the Chargers till I woke up on Sunday and I drank the Kool-Aid. If I was a betting man, I'd bet on the Eagles, but I don't think it's impossible that the New York Giants win this game. But they got to do it with a clear and concise game plan. Run the football, get after Jalen Hurts, and run zone defense, contain the run. There's an avenue to travel. We'll see if they can get the job done. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallGreen_.